Hello guys, what's up? This is Murtaza. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. This is the fourth episode of our object-oriented programming in C# in this playlist on my YouTube channel, A Coder's Journey. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel because you don't want to miss out on any of my uploads. Now, in the last video, we kind of talked about classes and objects. I also showed you how to create a simple class in Visual Studio and then how to instantiate two different objects based on that simple class, right? Now in this video, I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper. I'm gonna talk about class members, right? And then I'm gonna take you again to Visual Studio to talk a little bit about the intricacies and the different things you need to know when it comes to working with class members. Now, in C#, fields and methods. So remember, fields are the variables that you can directly declare, right, in a class, and the methods are the functions, right, the behaviors that you can add. These are encapsulated within classes, right, and these are commonly referred to as class members. So whenever I say class members or members of a class, I mean the fields, the methods, and other things which we will cover, in the upcoming videos, which are all encapsulated or put into a class. So they are members of a class, right? The class possesses somehow these different concepts like fields and methods and so on. I will take you to Visual Studio, right? We will create a simple class. We will add some fields, some methods, and then we will see these class members in action. We will also create some objects, right, based on those classes, and we will see that we can access those fields and methods based on the, or using those objects that we have created based on those classes. Now, let's go to Visual Studio and continue. So here in Visual Studio, in our solution, right, I have created a new project called episode 3, and we're going to work on this project for this episode, right? So first off, I'm going to show you how to create a very simple class. So I'm going to go on and add a new file. I'm going to choose the, class template, and I'm going to call this class car, right? And as I told you, you can add variables to your classes. So I'm going to say I want a variable of type string, and I'm going to call it color, right? Let's declare it as public for now. And then one thing that I want to tell you now is that you can initialize, as it is sometimes called, your variable. So you can assign a default value to these variables, to these fields, right? And I'm going to create another one. Let's say integer. I'm going to call this max speed, right? And I'm going to add, let's say 200. I'm going to set 200 to the value, the default value of this field, right? So along, with these fields, with these, attributes, we can also have behaviors, methods, right? So I'm going to create a public method called, for example, speed up, right? Speed up. And as I told you, it is a convention to declare your methods using Pascal casing notation. And I'm going to do something here in the console write line. I'm going to say, for example, the car is going to speed up, right? So some, fields and some, of course, methods. And then I can go on to program.cs and I can, let's get a read code, and I can, create an object of this class car, and then I can access the properties. For example, I'm gonna let's say color, for example. Let's do something else. Let's print out color and see what color is, right? So remember that in the car class we assign a default value to the color field, right? So we said that each object which is created based on this class will have the value red in this public field, right, which is of type string. So here I am creating a single object of this class, so the value is stored in the property, in the field, will be red, right? And we're going to verify that. We're going to see if that's the case or not by printing out to the console. So let's run the code and see what happens. And in the console, you can see that we get red, right? So the code works. But I can also change this. I can say car1.color is, for example, yellow. And then we will print it again. So the first default value is red, and then we have changed it and we are printing it one more time, right? And I can also access the, let's say, speed up method, speed up. And the speed up, what speed up does is that it will write something to the console, right? So let me go on and run this. The car is going to speed up, right? And I can also go on and declare another, let's say, object of this class called car2. And these are completely separate. So whatever you set, for example, in the color field of car1 is 100% separate from the color field or the value that you store in the color field of car2. So to just show you that, suppose that we are going to change the color of our car1 and then we're going to print it, and then we are going to print the color of car2. So this will print out yellow because we're changing it here, but this one will change red, which is the default value, right? So yellow and red. Let me zoom in so that you guys can better see what I mean, right? So one other thing that I want to tell you is that you do not necessarily have to initialize the, for example, fields, right, of your classes. So for example, I can say model, I can say a string model, right? And then I can I have the option of not setting a default value to this string field, right? And then I can go on and I can, when I create an object based on that class, I can go on and, for example, set the model here. So what I am trying to say is that you do not, even though you have the opportunity to set a default value to the fields, you do not have to do that. So you can set the value, right, after you create an object based on that class. And here I can then go on and print out the model of car2, which is the string sum model. So remember, even though you can set a default value to the fields, you do not have to do that. Let's wrap up this video because I don't want it to be too long. We kind of talked about class members, fields, and methods are class members, right? There are also other things that you can put in the class, right, which will again be a class member. We're not going to talk about them here in this video, probably in the upcoming videos. And just this video, I want to tell you that fields and methods are called class members, right? These are the members of our class, and then based on using the objects that we create based on the classes, we can access these fields or these methods, right? So if you enjoyed watching this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and stay tuned for the next video. Bye-bye.